Look at that, that's not fuel. Look how disgusting that is. Man, look at that color. So this thing hasn't been started in like over a year or something, I'm not sure. Look at all that disgustingness. I don't even know how the car's running. That's why it's running poor, so. Hey, welcome to another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Today's a really beautiful day, so I thought I'd do some work on the 121. What I'm planning on doing, what I'm going to do in this video is basically just service it and make the engine run a bit nicer. As you guys know, this thing is 1999 model, so it's really old, and I'm still actually waiting for the guy to do this for me, but we're just servicing it today, like, you know, replacing the oil filter. And when I did buy this car, I had a few issues, like drivability issues. One of them being like a really bad booster here. That's a really nice chaser. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. This like neighborhood's like got nice cars. I'm the only one with weird looking cars. So anyway, so the brake booster was the hose to the vacuum here was really bad, so I had to use one out of the red gates. I had to cut that up and make it fit in this car, so that's what I did. So I fixed that, and now it was able to not stall. So that's the issue. It would stall, especially when my friend Tom was driving it. It would just stall. So I fixed that. It's no longer stalling. But then after I brought it home, it would idle bad. Like, it would idle nice, and then it would just go bad. So, and I thought that's because the fuel in the car is actually bad, so, and it was running out of fuel. So I did fill it up with 98, and I thought that would make it run nicer. But it has been sitting for like a few months or whatever, or close to a year, I don't know. So I'm going to replace the fuel filter, so that, you know, the filter isn't clogged up or anything like that. So that's one way of making the car idle a bit nicer, especially with that 98 that is in there. And like I said, changing the oil filter. And because this car's been sitting for so long, I want to use this engine conditioner that I've been told to use by Mazda a few weeks ago, when I picked up, not a few weeks ago, a few days ago, sorry, when I picked up the bushes as well. So I picked up this as well at the same time, and I was like, hey, like, will this actually help? They were like, yeah, it should like clean the valves out and everything like that, you know, remove the gunk from the intake manifold. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be using this, but this car needs this sensor to run, and if you do end up removing this to put some of this through there, it would just keep stalling. So the best way to do it would be like to remove this thing here and just stick the thing in there, the nozzle, whatever you want to call it, the long hose, and feed it through there. That's one way of doing it. Or you can do it another way, but that's just the way I'm going to do it today. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so I'm about to remove the nut on the sump. I'm using a 19mm on a ratchet. Alright, let's drain this bad boy. Alright, it doesn't look too bad. The oil looks not too bad, especially in my hand. A bit black, but that's okay. Alright, I'm about to tighten this thing. It's best if you know, make sure that you tighten this thing as, not as tight as possible, but you want it really tight. You don't want it loose at all. So because I'm using a ratchet, an extendable ratchet, like you can extend it, I'm gonna make it as short as possible, so that I don't, because the more leverage you have, you don't even realize that you're tightening it too much. So I'm just gonna go, that seems to be perfect to me. It's not gonna come off anytime soon. So next I'm gonna do the oil filter, which is right up there. So I'm gonna bring this back in, bring the bucket back down, put my hand around it, and then I just spin it, and then there's gonna be oil coming out of it, so I have to make sure I get the bucket under it so it doesn't leak everywhere. Usually they leak, but this one's not, so it's kind of sussing me out. I'm doing it, I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah. Wow, there is literally no oil coming out of it. It's almost scaring me. It's alright, I'm sure. Okay, next I'm gonna replace the filter, which I do have a spare one right here. Let me just go grab it. Okay, so here's my spare one that I'm using. It's a bit of a tight spot, but so what you need to do is loop up the O-ring. But mine comes lubed already. Some oil filters come lubed, but I'm gonna do it again anyway. A little bit of oil, so you don't like this doesn't come off. That's what it's for. So I've never seen this type of like oil filter design where, maybe it's because I haven't started the car in a long time. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing any oil coming out of the filter. Maybe it's just the design. I don't know. Let me know in the description down below what you guys think. But it's a bit weird. Like usually every car that I've worked on, as you can see, I'm putting it back on. And just a quick to let you guys know, when you're doing this one, you don't want to use any tools. You want to do it by hand. You want to tighten it as hard as you can with your hand, and that's good enough. But that's not as hard as I can go. It's just alright. That's tight enough to me, so that's really good. So I'm just gonna get a rag and clean up. A little bit of oil came out of the sump, like it's on the sump plug, I should say. So I need to clean that up. But apart from that, the oil and the oil filter is done. It's now just to top it up and start the car, and then we'll do the fuel filter after that. Alright, so now that the oil filter and the oil is drained out of the car, I'm gonna put a brand new oil in it. And because this car is like really old, I'm gonna use thicker oil, 1540. You can use 2050 or whatever you prefer, but it's better to just go to your local shops and just ask them what it's actually recommended. The best brand would be like a Penrite or something, or a Shell, but this is the cheapest stuff. It wasn't a deal, I think, of the day, but this will work. So you can pick this up stuff from super cheap, Australian made, so it's pretty good. So yeah, let's add some oil into the motor. Alright, I'm gonna start this thing. What I always do is when I start the car and I've done just a service, just then, I always make sure that, hold on, let me turn this thing off. I always make sure that the oil light goes out, the oil light goes out. So when the oil light goes out, that means you have pressure. When it comes back on, that means you have no pressure. So yeah, now I'm just gonna let it warm up for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna check the oil again, and then I'm gonna then do the filter and the engine conditioner. But I'm going to make sure that when I'm revving the crap out of this thing, none of that condensation, whatever comes on this car, because this is a brand new car. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like a piece of clothes in the car, so that it doesn't, you know, make a mess. Oh, I'm going to use this table here and put it behind it and stand it up so it doesn't damage the paint on that car. Alright, so now you can't spray anything on the white car there. It's done that before, that's why I'm putting that there, and it destroys the paint, man, trust me. But yeah, so I'm gonna let this thing keep warming up for a few minutes and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so I've let it cool down for a few minutes. So now what I'm actually gonna do is remove the cover on the throttle body. It doesn't have to be perfect, but so I'm gonna remove this so I can actually clean the throttle body. So I'm gonna put that nut bolt there. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray a little bit in there, just so that it cleans it up. Alright, now I'm gonna put this back on before it all comes out. Okay, and then I'm gonna plug this back in, and now I'm gonna start it again and see how it handles that. Alright, now that there's a little bit left in there, oh no, not again. Alright, it keeps stalling because I'm removing this. I guess this provides more vacuum to the actual motor. There it is. So when I did go to Mazda a few days ago to get the bushes, I did get that at the same time. And Mazda did recommend that I put half of this in first while the car's warm, and then shut it off, let it rest for like, you know, a few minutes, and then take the throttle, take that off because the car will not start without it anyway, and then clean the throttle body out, and then start the car, and then put the rest through there while you're revving it. So I followed Mazda's protocol. So now this chair did pretty well. This table, I should say. So that's good. So hopefully this thing can stop idling badly. I still have to do the fuel filter, so I'll probably do that now. And it's really easy. It's just, you know, 2 hoses off and it comes off. So let's do that now. All right, so I'm about to remove this fuel filter hose here. It's ideal to remove the fuel pump fuse, because, you know, as you can tell, it's like pumping fuel from the tank to this hose here, and then it's going through the filter into here. So there's always going to be pressure there. So it's best to take that out and then crank the car. But this video isn't, you know, letting you guys know how to do things, just showing you what I'm up to. Alright, so this is the new filter here, so I'm going to put that right here, get this out of the way, and then I'm going to use this. Alright, so I'm using this hose so that, you know, it doesn't, no fuel goes in the engine bay. It's a bit hot. Ratchet spanner. Okay, I've got my ratchet spanner here. So I'm gonna this car's really old, so sometimes it's better to lube these bolts and things like that so you don't strip them. Okay, so now you can do that, and this can come out under the car, under the housing, and then you can lift it up, and then you can get to that other, whatever you want to call that, clamp. Alright, hold on, let me get to you. Okay, so there it is, it's off. So I'm going to just use my hands to remove this hose. It hasn't been removed in many years, but it's okay. There's going to be fuel, more fuel in here, so you have to be careful. Oh my goodness, as you can see, it's disgusting. Holy crap. Wasn't expecting it to be this bad. Holy shit. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys why my car's been running badly. So hold on, let me just remove this thing. Man, this is disgusting. Okay, so alright, you guys ready to see this monstrosity? So I'm gonna put this right here. Have a look at it. It's pretty. Look at that, that's not fuel. Look how disgusting that is. Man, look at that color. So this thing hasn't been started in like over a year or something, I'm not sure. Look at all that disgustingness. I don't even know how the car's running. That's why it's running poor, so. Oh man. I need to do those fuel injector cleaner stuff as well, so that it actually runs pretty good. disgusting, man. So I'm gonna try and jump. I'm gonna jump the fuel pump. Look at that. What it's done to the car whilst I was trying to remove it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually I'm not gonna take the fuel pump, the fuel tank out and clean it, because that's just not worth it for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, oh bloody hands, man, that's disgusting. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is clean this, and I'm gonna jump the fuel pump. And when I jump the fuel pump, it's gonna get all that fuel out, and then I'm gonna do that again and jump it again and get all that fuel out. Even with my new fuel that I put in there, it's still disgusting. So that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna show you guys that, because that's just gonna take too long. But yeah, I'm gonna put the new filter in, and and I'm gonna probably replace this down the road, I don't know, in a few months when I register this thing. I'm thinking of registering that car first, so I don't think this car's gonna see the road first. But either way, this car's got to be taken really care of, because that's why it was stalling, I'm guessing. Because it was just, that was disgusting, as you guys have seen. So anyway, time to put these in. I'm gonna put the hose on first. Yeah, that was disgusting. I wasn't expecting that. That was actually horrible, I'll be honest. I have never seen that ever. I've seen spaghetti in a fuel tank, but that was bad. I'm just being weirdo now. Why am I not doing this right? Come on. And now it's overboard. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, so that one is on. Time to put it on. Wasn't expecting that, people. I was not expecting that at all. Okay, so now I'm gonna squeeze this and try and put that bolt back in it. I'm gonna just work backwards. So I'm gonna use this to hold it together. Okay. Now let's try that again. Yeah, that was definitely an experience. Okay. That was so horrible. Okay, time to put the other one on. This side isn't even that bad, so I don't know. Yeah, the filter's doing its job pretty honestly. If I'm being honest, I should say. Okay, so... Can I even do this with my hand? No. I usually can. Okay, so... There's the new one. Alright. So there it is. The fuel filter is installed. Let's see how it idles now, because, you know, it wasn't too bad. Doing it wasn't too bad, I'll be honest. Okay, it's tight on there. Okay, so let's try and start this thing. Man, let's put the fuel pump fuse back in it. Plug that thing back in. Alright, let's start this thing. Just get on the battery, of course. Alright, we don't need to tighten it, we just need to put it on. Where did that even fly to this time? There it is. Alright, let's try that again. Man, I feel so sorry for the new fuel filter because it's gonna have to do one heck of a job. But I'm gonna put a new one in there while I'm cleaning the tank out anyway. So it only cost me, I think, like maybe 60 bucks. So so we'll see. Hopefully I can clean this fuel tank out because I really am feeling sorry for that new fuel filter. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Now you know what happens when you don't service your car, change the fuel filters and all that. So make sure you guys do your fuel filters and everything. As you can see, it's a heck of a mess. Disgusting. I don't even know if that's like water that's been sitting in there. Maybe. I don't know how things work. I'm new to this stuff, so anyway, thanks so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.